feeling like yourself?
Man, that's a great question. Well, I get tons of work on my body constantly, but I would say probably Thursday I'm feeling pretty good. But Sunday night I can't sleep because my adrenaline's rolling and I'm feeling all amped up and everything else. Hopefully because it's off of a win. And then Monday I get up early, swim early in the morning. That really helps my body recover. Drink tons of water, and then just continue to keep my body active. I get a good lift in. Tuesday, kind of the same thing. Wednesday is our first real practice again, and you're still feeling sore. And then by Thursday, I'm feeling pretty good. So it takes about a good 4 days.
It's funny. Tom Brady, I think, only eats kale now, and I know he wasn't on this perfect diet when he was 23. Was there a moment, Russell, when you're like, okay, I really got to watch mine and protect my body? What I eat, what I do with it.
I've really been starting to focus on it really this past off season. Really, speaking of Tom, I had a great conversation with him and just talking to him about his longevity and everything else, because I love great players and I love getting to know them and everything else and what they've done and just kind of getting knowledge from him about what he's done. And for me, I'm very passionate about trying to be one of the best in the world, and it's something that from eating right to training like crazy to making sure that you have a purpose, and what you're doing and everything that you're doing. And so, it's been a great off season for me. I had an unbelievable off season. I hired a full-time trainer, Decker Davis. I get to work on my shoulder, my body, my legs, and constantly getting worked on and everything else. And so I think that's something that I definitely have invested in, and something that really, really matters, because the reality is I want to play till I'm 45. I want to play and win multiple Super Bowls. And to do that, you have to do that now. You have to, you have to have that maintenance on that car almost every day.
Sure.
It's important, whether it's in season or out of season.
Russell Wilson, who I said before is I put him neck and neck as the MVP of this league, not just because I grew up in Seattle, but I just think, Russell, you're one of the greatest football players I've ever seen. And,
that's a big compliment. Thank you, my man.
You bet. And when I first met you, I told you, I said, you're going to run this league. Forget play in about 20 years. I have a football question. You can go complicated here. Greg Cosell's a friend of mine, and we talk about video all the time. And he said sometimes it looks as though the Seahawks have a designed scramble for Russell. Do you design plays that may look to the common guy like me as a pass play, but it is really a little flag football where you want your receivers to peel off? It is a design chaos play.
No, we don't. We actually don't have any of those. There's none of those in the playbook. When you see me scrambling and spinning out and doing that kind of stuff, that is not planned. That is
running for your life.
that is in the midst of chaos. And so I think that's kind of just playing ball and making things happen.
Russell, when you're running, I notice you do something. You always keep your eyes downfield. Now, that's easier said than done, because you got, J.J. Watt level guys chasing you, and those Philadelphia guys, they like to squash you. So when you're running around and you're keeping your eyes downfield, you must have some sensory feel for, you can sense guys are around you, because you're running around, eyes down the field, and yet kind of moving through a maze. When did that click for you?
You want to know something really funny, Colin? So, first of all, I think that a lot of it is obviously instincts, and I thank God for the gifts that He's given me, and then obviously just trusting the guys to continue to block their tails off, and then also guys to get open. The funny thing is I look back to when I was a young kid. You're gonna laugh when I say this, but when I was a young kid, I used to go to the mall, and there used to be a mall in Richmond, Virginia. I think it's still there. It's called Regency Mall.
Yeah.
I used to go to the mall, and it used to be packed. I mean, it used to be packed. Right after school, I would go almost every day. As everybody's coming at you, going to the next store or whatever, in the main hallway of the mall, I would kind of weave in and out and spin, and people would look at me like, "What is this kid doing? What is this like little midget of a kid doing?" I'm probably 8 years old, like juking and diving, but it was me like in my head making moves, as if I was an NFL player. Playing ball and making moves. And so that's I just worked on my visualization from when I was a young kid.
Carson Wentz, minute, impressions of what you saw.
Gamer, baller, can do a lot of things. He's going to be great for a long time, and I thought our defense did a really good job against him because he's a really good player.
Yeah.
And to only hold those guys to 10 points was pretty phenomenal. When you think about our defense and what we were able to do, and they've been scoring 30-plus points a game or whatever they were scoring. But in terms of who Carson is as a player, I think he's a special player, and I can't wait to see him play. It's going to be cool to go up against him for many years to come.
Russell Wilson yesterday, I'll say it, there have been about 15 athletes in this league that are just different. Walter Payton was just different. Ronnie Lott was just different. Aaron Rodgers, not a lot of them. He's one of them. He's just remarkable. And you see, I got nothing against Baker Mayfield and Johnny Manziel, but cocky 5-11 guys that aren't as disciplined, that aren't as athletic, that have a police video, the comp is off. This kid walked into Wisconsin, a conservative football program, and put up the best Big Ten quarterback numbers I can remember in a decade. I mean, Wisconsin defines conservative football. Oklahoma guys always have big numbers because they have